Last time I've talked about sauropods in Jurassic World, I kinda ruined it by finding out that Brachiosaurus is not actually Brachiosaurus, but another genus called Giraffatitan. So one of the most poignant scenes of the Jurassic World movies is labeled with the wrong dinosaur. However, for many people such details do not thoroughly ruin the scene, so I will now go on thoroughly ruining that scene. And we all know what scene I mean. A common question about this scene is, could sauropods actually rear up on that? Could they get up on their hind legs? And that's not a recent discussion. All dinosaurs are descended from two-legged animals. The earliest dinosaurs are all two-legged, and this would suggest that even the four-legged ones probably had some ability to still get up on their hind legs for at least a short time. So for decades, scientists have tried to find out if this is actually the case, as illustrated by the picture we have now on screen, which is actually from 1911. And there's a lot of pictures of rearing sauropods from that time, because the image of dinosaurs being sluggish lizards did not come about until about the 1950s, 1960s. So before that, we often would see that. Then, for some time, dinosaurs were received as dumb, sluggish reptiles, and pictures like that disappeared. And by the 70s and 80s, it turned out dinosaurs were more active than was thought before, and so we had a resurgence of such debates. There is a lot of work done on this, but the most complete is probably done by Heinrich Mallison. That's a hard name to pronounce because the first name is German and the last one definitely isn't. Alright. But by Mallison in 2009, and he determined the weight distribution and anatomy of all major groups of sauropods and whether they were able to rear up on principle. And the good news is they were, because most of them actually had the center of their weight, of their mass, just above the hips, which meant if they stood up, they could actually balance that way, because the tail was long and weighty enough to balance the front of their bodies being in the air. So that is good. And he specifically said this for diplodocids like Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus, Diplodocus, which are the somewhat more lean sauropods. Problem here is Brachiosaurus is not a diplodocid. It's a brachiosaurid. And it is built very differently from diplodocids. And the study actually also mentions brachiosaurids. And the bad news is they just couldn't do that. Because if you look at a Brachiosaurus, it is very front heavy. The long front legs and the whole build of the animal means there's a lot of weight in its front part. And it's probably built this way specifically to not need to rear up. This is an animal built for standing in front of a tree and just eating from its top, because this animal is extremely high even without rearing up. And if we look at the scene in the original Jurassic Park, we can see that the head of Brachiosaurus actually is about as high up as it is when it's standing normally while it is rearing, because it just bends its neck, and that's completely pointless. A waste of energy even, so the Brachiosaurus probably would do that anyway in this situation. So after all, as nice as this scene is and as poignant as it is, Brachiosaurus is not a dinosaur that could re-up this way. Scene ruined. Mission accomplished. Speaking of things that shouldn't be able to re-up in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, what's up with that truck in that scene? How did it get its front wheels up that high? Is there a ramp I didn't see? What's going on there? As expected, this was a rather short episode. Next time I will reverse that and we will have a rather long episode because I will tackle Trump's Space Force. Also, to supplement for this short episode, I will put bonus content up this week with some cut content from the ATHS episode.